Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Jazakumullah khair for joining me today as I go through another video. I wanted to take some time and talk a little about the student-teacher relationship, in particular from the student side of things. For the teachers, there are more qualified people than myself to impart their experience and wisdom on how to deal with students. Maybe one day I'll be able to give a video on that as well. So we grow up hearing tales of teachers from where we're ethnically from, and sometimes even horror stories as well. Then we grow up here in the West with the Western education system, which is like the other extreme. In Islam, the best way is always the middle straight path. First of all, never ever refer to your teacher as brother or sister. They are your ustad or ustada, or your sheikh or your sheikha, or whatever title of respect you decide to give them. Yes, they are your brother or sister in Islam, but the respect of the teacher must be there by calling them teacher. Even in Western schools, you hear students calling their teachers sir, but that seems to be dying out a bit. The key thing is to know that you are being respectful when you call them teacher. On the other hand, sometimes they can be a family member. In that situation, you can call them with whatever name you normally call them, but in the lessons, you should still call them teacher. You should show that high level of respect. The second you start calling your teacher brother or sister, it becomes informal, and then the respect starts to go away. This can actually influence your learning and the mindset you bring to your lessons. Leading on from that is to respect your teacher 100%. It doesn't matter how old or young your teacher is. It doesn't matter what you think about them or what you think of their opinion. You should still respect them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put them in your life to learn from. It doesn't matter if you disagree with them, you should still respect them. The teachers have got to their level because of what they've been through, and that is no easy feat. Trust me, there's no choice. You have to respect them. Unfortunately, in Western education, this has pretty much been completely lost and has died out, except for when you come to the older students who can appreciate their teachers for themselves. Children are never really taught how to respect their teachers or the signs that you're showing respect to your teachers. They're slouching, not paying attention, etc. Our pious predecessors would sit on the floor when learning from their teacher, and they wouldn't even point their feet at them in fear of disrespecting them. Now, I'm not saying that that's necessary, but students should be aware and know what is disrespectful to their teachers and avoid them. That reminds me of a story actually about Imam Malik. He was teaching a class one day, and this was in Medina, of course. And then you can say the circus came by, and one person announced that there were elephants walking nearby. All the students got up to take a look, except for one, whose name was Al-Layth, who was from Andalusia, near Spain. Imam Malik saw him and asked him, "Why have you not gone out to see them, since they are not in the land of Al-Andalus?" And Al-Layth replied, saying, "Indeed, I have only come from my land to see you and learn from your guidance and knowledge. I have not come to see elephants." In another story, I can't remember who it was, but they said, "There are so many elephants in this world, but there is only one of you." This is the type of awe and respect that we should have for our teachers. Now let's get on to some more difficult bits. Teachers have full right to discipline you. This disciplining the teachers will give will help you to gain knowledge, inshallah. Imam al-Shafi'i said it so beautifully. Be patient on the dry nature or the sourness of your teacher's discipline. because the depth of your knowledge is in that discipline. And whoever does not seek that sourness or doesn't taste it, they will spend their entire life sipping and drinking ignorance. Subhanallah. The reason why a teacher disciplines a student is because of their love for you. If they didn't love you, then they wouldn't even bother saying anything to you. They want to see you succeed and hit your potential. I'm going to say something quite controversial here, but here in the West, that power has been taken away from the teachers, and too many rights have been given to the to the parents. Sorry. There might be a legitimate reason for this. Of course, every action has a reaction, as there's always a cause to an effect as well. So I might possibly talk about this situation in a later video. In fact, my best friend is a teacher, and I had a quick discussion with him about it. In a nutshell, he said that parents are very defensive. My child misbehaving? This cannot be. More often than not, it is an ego or a pride thing on behalf of the parents. They feel that their parenting is being attacked. Instead of working with the teacher for the betterment of their children, they end up blaming the teachers for a wrong opinion. Leading on from that, for the parents of young students here, do not expect miracles from your children's teacher. They are only with them for 1 or so hours a week. What are they doing for the other 167 hours? Children must be pushed to do independent work outside of lessons to see any kind of progress. This is the same for adults as well, except they need to motivate themselves and schedule and organize their own time. I know I go to the exercise examples all the time, but I'll add another one here. You spend an hour of your day approximately in the gym, working your hardest. Imagine you did this. What are you doing for the other 23 hours of the day? Are you eating healthily? Or are you eating junk food? Are you getting enough sleep, or are you staying up all night on your phone? Our hard work and money can be going down the drain if what you learn in the lessons are not revised or practiced outside of it. Next point I want to make is do not take advantage of your teachers. They give you an allotted time, so make the most of that time. If you need more time, then ask for permission. Don't forget, teachers are very busy, but most of all, teachers are very nice. Many times, students take advantage of their teachers and how gentle and nice they are. The last thing you want is your teacher to be strict and mean with you. You're not going to like it. You'll start feeling that whatever your teacher does or says offends you. For the extra time they are giving you, you have no right to feel offended by how they act. The next etiquette is do not study the same subject with more than one teacher at a time. This is against the etiquettes of learning. Why? Many people think it's due to the respect that a teacher deserves, or a'udhu billah, something that will impact the pride or ego of the teacher. How dare he study with another teacher besides from me? Am I not good enough for him? I'm going to show that other teacher I'm better than him. No, this isn't the reason why. The real reason is for the benefit of the student. Because studying with more than one teacher at a time leads to the comparing of the two teachers, which is wrong. And you're most likely also going to prefer one teacher over another. And then you'll no longer be able to benefit in the lessons of the other one that you haven't preferred. And you won't be able to gain the full barakah in the gathering either. The next point is, before you go to class, make this dua. Ya Allah, hide the flaws of my teacher so that I might attain the barakah of the knowledge he or she is imparting, and that it isn't taken away from me. That's the dua I want you to make next time you go, every time you go to a class. Some students have a very bad attitude and focus so much on all the flaws of their teachers this teacher was teaching me such and such, and I know this other teacher is wrong because I heard the first teacher say this, this, and this. He clearly doesn't know anything. So these are the kind of comments that will, or thoughts will go through a student's mind. If you don't like your teacher, don't study from them. No matter which teacher you go to, you will be able to find benefits in studying with them if you just look out for them. If you look for the benefits, you'll find them. Sometimes you won't even realize it. I remember one of my teachers would always hold me back, and she would never allow me to do any independent reading. They felt it best to learn from a teacher, but I felt personally suffocated. However, that never prevented me from learning all the other etiquettes, including styles of teaching. These experiences shape the way you will eventually teach, allowing you to take the positive skills that you find from all your teachers and then avoiding the negative ones from all of your teachers as well. Speaking of things you shouldn't do, don't be arrogant with your classmates. Just because you know something and your classmates don't start thinking, what is he doing? Or he should be in another lower class. Or this is so simple, what's wrong with him? That effort they're putting in gets them two rewards. That pride you're showing gets you a sin and ultimately prevents you from entering Jannah if left unchecked. A class is a team, and if you work together, you'll all get more out of it, inshallah. The strong works with the weak and vice versa. Nobody knows who has more khushur or ikhlas or sincerity. If you think about a martial arts class or even a madrasa, it is the older kids that teach the younger kids. Next point, and one of the most important points, always go to a class with the mentality of I don't know. If you go with the mentality that you know, then you are just using your teacher. Again, I'm going to go into some martial arts philosophies here, but empty your cup. And my teacher tells me this all the time, empty your cup and empty your cup. Bask in the barakah of the knowledge Allah has allowed your teacher to impart upon you. Once you go in with this mentality, you will be able to understand what the teacher is trying to tell you, instead of trying to build what you hear around what you already know. So if you're trying to build around, then you might not have enough space, or it won't fit in such and such a place, and therefore you'll not be able to learn it, and you won't be able to keep it in your brain. Anyone gaining an ijazah requires patience. You might find it easy, you might find it hard. You have to work with your teacher and possibly your classmates. Then, inshallah, you will get far with this mindset. We should all remember that you do not qualify until you are qualified. And someone has to tell you that you are qualified, i.e., your teacher has to tell you, and this tradition has been going on for many, many centuries. Lastly, as with anything worth doing in this life, it takes effort, consistency, and time. These things are necessities. These are necessary for you to succeed. Go through the full distance. Never give up. In my video of rigidity part 2, and I recommend you guys go back and watch those videos if you haven't, I talk about moving from one level to the next. The system is long, but you must continue to the end. Even if you are struggling, even if you don't understand something, make sure you go the full distance. It doesn't matter how good or bad you are. Never give up. Don't give up. And never lose hope. And always try improving. And always ask Allah for an opening. You never know when it might come. I pray that Allah gives us all patience. May He forgive our teachers and our students and give them Jannah. May He cover up our teachers' faults and may we gain beneficial knowledge from them. Ameen. وجزاكم الله خير. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.